Hey, what's up? We're live. Yeah, I added that new clip. Always a good one there. So fake looking.
So what?
So fake looking.
Well,
Back then, not so much.
candle wax or something?
Oh, what's up, Mixaplexy? What's up, man?
What do you think they use
Yeah.
for those effects? Because they're practical, right?
Oh, it was definitely wax.
wax
That was
TV,
definitely
right?
something to. Yeah, it's definitely something to melt. Oh man, so I watched probably like 40 minutes of that Blue Beetle movie. Shit, that's
theaters?
fucking bad. No. Oh, well, I got my hands on a copy.
Oh,
It's a terrible. It's like a obviously terrible version, but
like Kramer filmed it?
yeah. Kramer probably was out there filming that. But oh man, the weirdest thing about
Are
it
people
is
calling it dung beetle instead already?
that's a good name for it, man. I mean, it's just like
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. It's like
it writes itself.
it reminds me of like a really bad action movie from like the 2000s. That it's just like I don't even get why they're making this. I guess it just I guess there's always action movies, so that's why just these superhero movies becoming just like the typical bad action movie. But George Lopez, like how how you always hate the way that woman looks in Children of Men.
Yeah. Just the thought of
I
it, like
the look of George
my whole
Lopez in this
body
movie.
up and want to punch something.
Yeah, the look of George Lopez in this movie is so strange. He's got like bracelets and a mullet and
You have a
black
photo?
fingernails. He's got black fingernails. It's just I don't have a photo, but I didn't notice it. Like I'm sure you can't find it. You have to like watch the movie because it's like I'm sure you're not gonna find him with his fingernails out, but just a weird fucking character. I don't even understand it. Makes no sense, that character.
It's his father?
It's his uncle. That's another thing. Also, it's like the uncle looks like he's 80 years old, or the father looks like he's 80 years old, and George Lopez is the uncle. Maybe George Lopez didn't want to be the old guy part, but he looks just as old. I don't know. It's weird. So it's a really strange movie. It takes about 30 minutes until he gets the costume and the beetle thing, and the first 30 minutes are just like terribly boring.
Padding?
I don't even get doing that. That's why I hate origin stories. I realize that like this is not a good origin story. If it's not a good origin story, why even show it? Like just have him be the character already. Like Benedict Cumberbatch here with the smog. I like this thumbnail. There's no reason why he's in this. I just wanted to put him in. I found 3
I
good
thought
photos.
I thought there was like some Benjamin Cumberbatch related clip or story, or he's in the movie or something. I said, like that.
Now we're gonna talk about the Rings of Power stuff, but
Ugh,
a little bit.
forgot about that.
Talk about Amazon. Amazon's canceling a bunch of their shows, so I kind of think Rings of Power is up next to be canceled, which is probably good. But
Why
yes,
are they
that's why I
doing
figured I'd throw in some Cumberbatch things at the bottom there. Which I do love. I think I nailed it with that. They look nice here. I like the
Why
one
they
where he's
canceling
coming out from the
stuff?
left edge. Was that?
Why are they canceling all their stuff?
It's the writer's strike. This is also like I was hearing how I think it almost makes me wonder if the writer's strike was sort of on purpose because now this is an excuse for Hollywood to like stop a lot of their projects they didn't really want to do. Like
That's
now they don't
smart.
have to make certain things. Smart, like by them. I mean, I was thinking about it. It's been since May, early May, that we haven't had any of these late night shows. Like Jimmy Kimmel or Fallon. I don't
I
think anyone's
completely forgot about
noticed.
all those because I don't get those channels anymore with whatever package I have.
Dude, I think no, those are just like NBC8. Those are the main channels. I'm sure you get those. You can get
Oh
those
yeah,
on
never
like
mind. I just
yeah, you
never
get those.
really go in that area.
Yeah. The only time I'll see them is like stupid clips of their stupid shorts or something on YouTube. Like just little snippets that are fucking
Yeah,
horrible.
those YouTube shorts are horrible. That algorithm is like just
They want you to do it too. They
fucking
want you to make
garbage.
them. I won't ever make that. I don't know. I mean, I get it. They're trying to compete with Instagram and TikTok, and I have to say, man,
Yeah, like their version of Vine. Everyone's
I've
just
been
doing Vine.
I've been watching some TikTok videos just because they know all the conspiracy shit I like. So I've been scrolling on there. I feel like an idiot.
What's the max length? Like 15 seconds?
What on TikTok?
Yeah.
No, I've seen 10-minute videos on there. I don't think there is a
Oh,
minimum.
I thought there was like a restriction on how long the clip is, and then you like just
I think on YouTube Shorts there
make
is, and
one.
I think on Instagram Reels there is, but TikTok I found fucking 10-minute videos.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think they're doing it a little better. It's like I find a lot of good shit on there. That's all I'll say. I do find good shit. I do find good conspiracy shit. There's a lot of like clips from Joe Rogan that like I don't want to watch the whole video, but there's some really good clips
Yeah,
that
they're
people have.
everywhere. His shit is like unavoidable.
Some of the cool ones are like this one guy who lived in the Amazon and he's just telling all the weird stories of the Amazon and how like the scariest thing in the Amazon is none of the animals. None of that. You wanna know what the scariest thing in the Amazon is?
Bacteria or something?
No, it's the fucking people. There's like, uncontacted tribes and they'll start to mimic animal noises. So like they'll start to kind of mimic like a monkey or like a bird noise, but it like doesn't sound like a bird. So it's like everyone, if you're in the Amazon, you start to hear that kind of shit, like get the fuck out of there. If it's like it doesn't sound exactly like a monkey, it's like get the fuck out of there. It's probably like these tribes signaling to each other, and they're like legit cannibal tribes. There's like 100 tribes that have never been uncontacted. They like will kill you.
Really, I
It's
thought all
kind of
that shit was
crazy.
kind of like been extincted or something.
No,
Extinct.
there's 100 uncontacted tribes in the Amazon. There's a tribe in it's called the Senegal Island in it's off the coast of India. They're uncontacted. And people have tried to contact them and they've killed like mostly everyone who comes there. It's crazy ass shit. But
Do they eat
let's
them
get into it.
alive? Or...
Well, one guy they like just like they'll mutilate. They'll like kind of like I don't know, I think they don't trust any of these foreigners because they probably have gotten disease. They probably gotten disease from like an outsider, so they know like if we see these people, it's better just to kill them. I don't even know if it's about eating them alive. I think it's probably just they think like it's probably just better to just kill them, get it over with.
So it's more for safety than survival, needing like the meat. And food.
I think so. Yep.
Makes
I
sense.
mean, I
Yeah, I
think
would bet, like if you had fucking COVID and you just showed up there, they'd probably all get it.
yeah, but that's a fucking cold. That's the thing with COVID. It's mostly just a cold. It's not far off from. I mean, you know what? I've never had it bad, but I got that. I have that Eastern Slavic DNA in me, so they're allies with China. The word is that all the Western cultures, like it sounds like if you're gonna go into conspiracy, it sounds like COVID was kind of a genetically made disease that is gonna target Western genetics. So anyone who was allies with China, which is like the Russian stuff, they don't get it as bad.
Yeah, it
So
makes
it's like,
sense.
yeah, no, it's kind of true. Like, look at like Italy, a European EU country, they got it really bad. Um, I think there's certain genetics that are
Well, are
kind of
there
fine with it.
percentages tracked of one area to another, how bad they got it? Because
Yeah, like
you could have
people
higher
in
rates in
China do
China,
not
but
get it
then
that
that's
bad.
just based on the level of population. So you have to go more percentage than overall.
Yeah, like people in the Asian countries and the Asian race don't get it that bad. People in like kind of the Western Europe get it worse. which is not an ally of China. I kind of do think it could have been a bioweapon. I think there is a chance it was a bioweapon
Yeah, of
or like
course.
thought
I
of
don't
like
think
that.
I don't think something like that just happened by accident in nature. I think it was created. Yeah, it just and I don't think it was by accident that it got out. I think it was just planned. I mean, the timing of it. There's certain reasons for it to come and happen at that point that would be advantageous. But then again, you
Oh
could
yeah,
do that probably at any time, at any point. Also,
yeah. I mean, you definitely could. It's a weird thing, man. Although I'm seeing tons more masks than usual, and then I even heard Lionsgate, a Hollywood studio. You've heard of Lionsgate, right? You ever heard their movies? They usually make shitty stuff.
yeah, I know Lionsgate.
They're mandatory. Everyone on set, everyone working in their offices, they're all wearing like masks are back. Masks are back in Hollywood, and I've been noticing
No,
in the supermarket. I'm seeing a lot more masks. It's kind of strange.
right. The last time you said something like this, we had a fucking lockdown. So please, just like don't
No,
don't
I
be
mean I don't think
disrespectful.
I don't know. I know there is like a new variant probably released by the government. I mean, you never know what they're trying to do.
No,
I don't know.
I saw a
I don't
clip on
fucking
that
know.
too. Hospitalizations are up and all this shit. Yeah, I'm just like,
I don't buy that shit.
fucking.
I really don't buy hospitalizations up, but I think it's like at this point, if COVID is you know a typical virus, like these viruses, they get less lethal because they're trying to find hosts. So they'll usually be less lethal, and that's kind of like how all viruses really work.
I know, but
Unless it
it
is
might not
something
even
fucking
be
man made.
about like the level of how dangerous it is. It's like manipulating the situation. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I also just don't think anyone cares at this point. It's funny when I hear that, I'm thinking like
Yeah, but
when I
nobody
see that
cares
shit,
then
it's just like I'm
either.
so apathetic
They
to
go to
it,
like
man.
COVID parties, and if you got sick first, you won money and shit.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I mean, honestly, it really like I don't really give a shit if I got it. Like I've had it twice and doesn't really do anything to me. I mean, I've never had it bad, so I don't know.
I had it bad,
I,
but I've gotten sick not that long before it with the like some kind of flu type shit from somebody else that I worked with, and then that happened not soon after. So
yeah, I
my
mean, and
first system was probably already compromised and weak, and that made it that much worse. But it was pretty bad. I definitely
yeah,
don't want to.
I also wonder if that's like that could be, that you have that European DNA, you know? Apparently, Polish
Um,
people get it one of the worst.
really,
Italian
Polish?
people, yeah, I mean that's EU. That is not a Slavic country. That's not like connected to
Man, that's
the
so
Russians.
fucked.
I've
So,
heard Italian people are getting it
so I
bad. I mean,
guess
look at Italy
that's
with their whole
set up for
lockdown.
population control. They want all those people dead.
Could be, man. Mixplex was saying I was getting close to losing my job for not getting the shot. That was, I mean, I don't know if that's still happening.
Yeah,
That was happening here, and now
I
it's
was
done.
not able to apply for a position or even get an interview without already having it fully done in the card and everything. They wouldn't even interview at that point.
That's crazy,
So
man. That's done though. Like that kind of shit is done here.
hopefully, yeah.
Oh no, it is. It is. It is. I haven't heard anyone. I
And
mean,
also, after
I
I
had to
got
like
hired, they were like pushing boosters on everybody to go get them.
I had to do like a video shoot at one of the companies that we work with, and they're like, "Oh, we require vaccinations and shit," and I was like, "Oh shit, oh god." Like this was 2021, so I had it, and I was like, "Oh, okay," but they never asked for it, but they said to get in the building you had to have it was bullshit. It's like bullshit. I don't know. Now you hear nothing about that anymore. You don't hear anything about it.
I know. I wish
I
I
also
didn't.
kind of
I
wonder, like,
wish I never got it. Like
I
I
mean,
wish I have it inside my body.
I know that in the fall there's like, it's typically like it's like the flu season, where they start to offer a flu
Yeah,
shot or
that
that's
transition
kind of seems like the
of
narrative for this new variant
climate
that they
change
want you
just
to take that.
always seems to like weaken my immune system. Like I remember just even when it's like really not really cold, like just somewhat cold one day and then hot the next, and then fluctuates. I always seem to get sick or like have kind of weird allergic reactions and stuff like that, or soon after.
Well, I'd say with me, I mean, knock on wood, I have a very strong immune system, but I take a lot of vitamin
But yeah,
C.
because you're not being targeted.
It could be that, but I also kind of, I don't know. Sometimes you just get lucky. I've also kind of had
Well,
this
you gotta
theory.
ask, um, you know, more, ask more people, that don't, that don't have what you have and could have been targeted, and see what they say. Maybe there's a trend.
Well, I also have this kind of theory with it actually it stems from our friend Doug, but kind of me too in the past. Like I used to smoke a lot of fucking weed, and I feel like my lungs were like I've really I don't know if it's I've trained my lungs or fucked them up enough, but I don't know. I don't think like certain things affect me as much. And I even know like Doug's never had it. Doug's never got COVID, as far as he knows. He's
Really,
never got it.
he was working.
A public job as a waiter
Yeah, like
through the
more
pandemic.
in contact with more people than I ever would be.
Yeah, and
I
he's
got I
never
got
got
sick
it.
from like one out of like 10 people in an office, and
Yeah, I
were
mean
they were coming in sick when they shouldn't have though. Like they knew they were sick and still came in and got me and another person sick.
he's a
Fucking
heavy cannabis user, so I kind of wonder if the heavy cannabis use actually only helps this kind of shit out. I kind of think it does. I think it's like I don't know if it's that it's weed. I think it's more just that your lungs are
I don't know, or
more
maybe
like
he's just like
adept to. Mm,
exercising and in better physical condition than.
it could be no. Well, I know this. Like, let's say you're like a bodybuilder. When you bodybuild and you do like intense exercise or weightlifting, you're actually lowering your immune system. So you are lowering. So actually, they've gotten it worse.
Yeah, it makes sense because you just like you feel so weak physically. There's probably more to it than just that. I'll be right back.
Yeah, my
I gotta get
oh,
some
this is
more.
this is I love this line here. Your love for the halfling leaf has clearly slowed your mind. Oh man, that's a Saruman quote there. It's true too. I mean, that is some good halfling leaf. I mean, I wish I haven't smoked. Well, no, I did partake a couple months ago, and I was like too messed up. Weed gets you too far out there. I've realized that of late that weed is a little intense. It's a little intense. If you haven't smoked for a while, like I mean, I'm talking I was like a 15-year user where I did it every day. I could have smoked like an eighth or a quarter, probably a quarter. I could have smoked a quarter in a day if I had like the meat. Not I had the means, but like if I had the amplitude too, which I did. Like I definitely did. I could have smoked like 7 grams a day. That wouldn't have been hard. But probably I smoked like an eighth a day, which is a fucking lot. So I had a huge tolerance to it, and then I stopped, and then I started. Then like 3 years later, I like had like a hit or two of weed. I like partook. Yeah, it was a lot. I was a heavy cannabis user. I mean, I'm glad I'm not. I don't miss it. I definitely don't miss it. I mean, again, I'll never be anti weed. I'll always be pro weed. I think there's no problem with it. I think it's depends on how you use it. I mean, I can see the problems with it, but I also can see if you use it the right way, it's pretty good. There's definitely issues with it. I think it does lend to some laziness, but that depends on the person. There are plenty of people. I mean, look at Joe Rogan, big pot smoker. I mean, I think he's a pot. Who knows actually how much he really does, but pretty sure he's a pot smoker. But he seems to be pretty good with that work ethic, and there are some people that are like that. But then I know some people that don't have any life effort after that, and they'd probably be better off if they weren't doing that. I do think it's a pretty good drug though. But you know what? It's also it's when you start to get a tolerance, it's not super intoxicating. It has like there's a level of tolerance to it. So I think that's where it's like once you get that level of tolerance, it kind of like works out. But what's my first thing here? Talking about the Blue Beetle flop at the box office. Oh man, this is pretty bad. This director also, by the way, is a huge douche. I was just like looking into this guy. You know, granted, you have to like say this with every time you talk about this kind of shit, which is sad. It's so sad you have to say this, but Blue Beetle was this director was tweeting how he wanted the assassination of Donald Trump. What did he say here? He said, "The only thing I hope Trump has similar to Lincoln's president is the way it ended," essentially saying he wants him to be assassinated, which is just like, I don't like Trump really that much. I don't really like any political party. Agree. Up with the hope, down with the dope. But I am up with the I am down with the I'm I got some hope for the dope. It does make me wonder though. My conspiracy mind starts to spin. You know, all this legalization for weed makes me wonder. There's got to be a reason for that. Yeah, you know this. I mean, you can look this up right now. Weed is legal in North Korea, so look that up. That is illegal. You can do that in North Korea, no problem. The state where they don't want you to do anything, but they're allowed with the weed. That's a little weird. It makes you wonder if they think, all right, this is probably easier just control these people. Yeah, yeah, of course, man. That's from Half Baked. Love that movie. I love Dave. I mean, that was peak Dave Chappelle time. Also peak like me, like I think kind of getting into weed. I'm trying to think of the year that was. Half Baked was what, like I'm gonna give a prediction here. Was that 99? 98. Okay, yeah, yeah, 98. I wasn't so into weed right then, but I was getting close to it. Like I remember I would have been like 7th, 8th grade. I remember thinking like, "Oh, weed seems pretty cool." All these like movies I like talk about it, like Clerks and other things, and Kevin Smith stuff, and Jay and Silent Bob. They seem to like weed. So I remember thinking like, "Oh, this might be kind of cool." And then I think I tried it like summer of 8th grade or some shit. That's where it all started, man. Summer of 8th grade. That's probably pretty early for a lot of people too. But yeah, this director is fucking nuts. I don't like anyone who's like this liberal. You're really getting like you're really letting like some douchebag president get to you. It's like crazy. I mean, this guy already he's got a fist shirt here. That doesn't look good.
He
But
wants he wants an assassination.
yeah, he exactly wanted
Is that
assassination.
right before the movie came out, or they dug this up from old stuff?
No, this was like it's got to be. It's a little old.
Well,
Yeah,
obviously they dug up from old stuff because
it's
the
the
whole point of the
Puerto
movie's came off.
Rico. I think they
But
had
like,
the
read
hurricane
it what?
there. But it's ridiculous. And also this is one thing about Trump that I'll say he's got some bravery to him because people want to kill this guy. Like people want to fucking kill Trump. You know, the fact that he's still continuing to run for office and do his rallies, this guy could get fucking assassinated any day. So I'll give him that. He's got some balls there.
You could say that about a lot of people. You know, I
But I
mean,
would say especially
didn't
him.
you think
I
there was
really
gonna be
would.
like some weird neo KKK group that would try and kill Obama? I mean, that never happened.
Oh, definitely. But don't you think like the there's more hate for Trump than any other person? I don't know. Like I think he's got a lot of hate for him.
Well, it's. I mean, to me, it's there's like levels. You know, there's like the public just want to post hate, and then like deep rooted, this person needs to die. You know, for other reasons other than just I don't like what they're saying. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's levels to it, and his might be more surface.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't. I mean, I know he's got. I'm sure he has Secret Service with him for life.
The good thing Biden has going for him is like everyone feels like he's so on the verge of death that trying to assassinate him would almost be like a waste of time. Just wait like a couple months.
Wait, Mixplex, you're saying TDS is real. That's Trump derangement syndrome, I would think. And that's like the people who think he's all out to do good too. It's like I don't think he's that good either. Like
No, he just gets, I mean, very devoted.
no, I mean like that's another thing is like he wanted to clean up the swamp. Like he said, I don't think he cleaned up any swamp. I think he's Swamp Thing. I think he's like amongst the swamp. I don't buy that shit at all. I mean, that's where it's like I am
No, he
completely
just knows what idiots live
nonpartisan.
here. I mean, in a way that is more comical and less like rigid and trying to hide what your motives are. He just said like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna
Yeah, I agree with
just
this.
shit on everything and everyone and bring up stuff that has nothing to do, like physical stuff, like what the person looks like and stuff that has nothing to do with uh, any kind of policy or anything or like what they're about. It's just you look weird. I'm gonna make fun of you."
I mean, this with Mixplex, I totally agree. Trump is anti-war, so that is something that I
Yeah, that was
definitely.
good. I
That's
mean,
a good thing, man. That's a good thing.
funding billions of dollars to Ukraine probably would have saved us a lot of money as an
Well,
economy.
well,
And
even he
that's
was asked about He was asked about the Ukraine Russia thing, and they kind of said like, "Do you want Russia to win? Do you want Ukraine to win?" He said, "I don't want anyone to fucking win. No one wins, and that is the truth. No one wins in these situations. That's just not real." He said, "I just want people to stop dying," and that was like the first thing I heard Trump say. I was like, "Oh wow, he's actually fucking right on that." Like I
yeah, but
totally agree. Isn't that
it's
funny
because
how
he doesn't have um he's not invested in what's going
I
on.
guess.
Because like you said, with all the money laundering stuff, it doesn't feel like that money is being used for what it's supposedly like supposed to be used
But the
for.
funny
It's
thing
just
is, isn't it weird how I remember when the Liberal Party, well, I mean the Democrat Party used to be very anti-war. This was like around, like the '90s era, George Bush era. They're very
yeah, but you can say
anti-war.
you're anti-war and then be doing
Oh,
a whole bunch
dude,
of shit nobody knows about.
I don't think any of them are. Now you realize I don't think any of them are anti-war. Right now, how the
No, yeah,
Liberal
but
Party,
it's like
they're pushing
whether
this
you want
war
to
so
have that
hard.
platform or not. But it's going
Damn,
on the whole time.
Democrats are pushing this Ukraine war so fucking much.
And
It's so funny.
it's not even like sending people from the United States out. It's just paying for like guerrilla companies and middlemen to do stuff for you.
Oh no, it is. We're actually there. The word is that we are flying. We're flying a lot of the helicopter shit for Ukraine. Like we're essentially in the war, but we're not really saying it outwardly. But it's kind of is the start of World War III if this escalates further because we're in it. It's a exactly mixed. It's a by proxy war. Like we're in it, but we're just not saying we are. But it's so
So it's
funny
almost like a
how
Cold War.
no, it's a real no. It's like essentially like we're doing a lot of the things, but not like we'll transport troops by helicopter, like Ukrainian troops, into Russia to do like assassination attempts on these generals or other things. And we're not the ones doing the assassination attempts, but we're transporting people. We're providing them with tanks and helicopters, and so it's like
Yeah,
we're doing stuff in the war. We're essentially in the war, but we're not going to say we're in the war, like firefighting wise. And I
well,
don't know.
also
It's
just
funny.
the way that the money's being invested does more than anything.
Well, I mean, you look into America, and the truth is, our biggest companies are pharmaceutical, and our biggest companies are weapons manufacturing. So we got to use those things off, and I think even the Liberal Party knows that. Even the Democrats know, and that's why they're pushing this Ukraine thing.
But I think
And I'm Ukrainian.
part of the reason like COVID and everything happened is if you're gonna fund pharmaceutical companies, then this is just a good way and excuse to do so. It like the amount of money that was spent on probably like bullshit research on vaccines is just as a front to move money around and launder it.
Yeah. And brings me up to the Blue Beetle. That sounds like a new virus anyway. Basically, it is. I saw a lot of it. If I felt like I was on a virus, I felt like I had like the chickenpox flu.
You saw it from the very beginning.
Yeah, I mean, well, I didn't see all this movie. I couldn't watch all of it. I was
When did you stop?
like I said, almost basically when he gets his suit, and I was like, oh god, this is
Wow, so
fucking.
you didn't even make it like halfway through then.
No, it's that is actually halfway through. That's another thing is this movie is very boring. The whole like the half of the first half of the movie is him just like doing nothing, being like, "Oh, I'm a poor Mexican in this fake Mexican California city." And yeah, I mean, I've heard that. So I've also heard people really do like the comic Blue Beetle. Again, not something that ever really stuck with me, but I think it was kind of like a '90s comic that stuck with a lot of people. So I didn't know about it, but I guess people like this character, and I do like this actor. I like the actor. He's in Cobra Kai. But I was also
Oh,
wondering,
yeah, shit. But his
do
hair
I
was
like the
short.
actor? Do I like the actor or do I like the show? I was starting to realize that.
You like the show?
Probably I like the show. But there's been a bad this has been pretty fucking shit. This whole this first weekend. It's pretty bad. Let me like share my screen here.
Yeah, I saw some shit on the Willow stuff where they claim some tax exemption where they recoup 25% of what was invested, but they had to
Hmm.
agree to never uh, show or try and make money off of it again.
Hmm. Well, that is like you've heard this thing, the ESG shit, where if you, it's kind of like Bud Light, that whole Bud Light thing is if you make something that's pro kind of agenda of what they want to show off, then like you'll get some tax exemptions or like pro climate change initiative, you'll get some tax exemptions, all that shit. But yeah, I agree with this. The show's okay. The show got worse. I never kept up with it enough, and I do agree with the act. All the actors on the show are very meh. It's just kind of like a fun show. You got karate, you got other shit. I like that. Yeah, the kid drama portion of the show is really bad. I think the kid drama actually appeals to like a young, like that Gen Z age. Like I know like the Gen Z young kids like some of the young kids that are in it. Like I think they're kind of Tiger Beat type kids now. I think maybe the main character is like a Tiger Beat type. I don't know. Tiger Beat that dates me too. I
The
don't have to
fuck is
have
Tiger
Tiger Beat.
Beat?
Tiger Beat was like you'd go into like the supermarket and there'd be these little teeny bopper magazines and they'd have like Leonardo DiCaprio on it.
Oh, like pedo bait.
Yeah, I think actually exactly. I think wasn't there like that movie Happiness? The rapist guy is or the pedophile guy was buying like a Tiger Beat type magazine in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
He's
then
like
he goes
jerking
and
off.
jerks off in his car.
Yeah, he's jerking off to like the Tiger Beat magazine.
The movie's so fucked up.
Oh yeah,
I've watched it
Todd Fields is a
more
fucked
than
up
once,
guy.
and it's even more awful on every watch, just because you're noticing more things that you don't want to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is another underwhelming debut for DC. This is opening below the Turds of Prey, Suicide Squad, domestic box office. There is anyone going to show up for Aquaman? I don't think so. These DC movies they've really become the Digimon of the superhero market, where they're just like no one like they're the B level. I don't think kids even like it. They're like it's all for like the poor kids. The Blue Beetle stumbles with a 25 million debut. It did beat Barbie on its I think it's its sixth or fifth week. I think it's its sixth week. Which it's funny, like the fact that Barbie got 21 million in its sixth week or something, and this is only at 25. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, Barbie's already passed. I think it's like 1.5 billion, something like that. It's crazy. This movie is gonna probably lose more than 100 million. I'm even seeing like
There's a
people are saying
reason. There's a reason for this. There's no way that they would keep subjecting themselves over and over again to this. without.
I don't know. I don't think
agenda or
the thing with this is I don't think DC knows what they're doing. I don't know. I think they've been like lost for a long time. Yeah, and then they get rid of Henry Cavill, who was like Henry Cavill. He was never good in any of these things, but I can't blame him. I think it was just that he was always in these pieces of shit stories. I don't think DC's ever really had anything to show off since, I don't know, like the Christopher Nolan shit, I guess. Not that it's like I've never liked those, but they're definitely better than what they're doing with that Zack Snyder guy. Did you like you like the Batman? I started to watch some of this. I got pretty bored of it. The music was cool. The look of the film is really nice, but I found it kind of boring. And I do like that Robert Pattinson guy. It's all right. Cedric Diggory, the Twilight
He's
guy.
okay. He's good in
A
Lighthouse.
Lighthouse.
And,
yeah.
Good Time. But
yeah, I think he's like really been trying to prove himself that like I'm not the fucking Twilight guy.
David Cronenberg movie I want to see it. I forget the name of it, but he definitely. Well, I don't know if it's him or his agent. You know.
No, I think it's him. I don't think he wants to really be related to that shit. He's like trying to distance himself.
Well, you're right, because you probably
like
just get thrown like a ton of shit, and then it's on you to pick what's gonna be good or bad. Or,
right.
You know.
Yeah, now the Joker was a DC release, but it was in it's not in the universe, it's its own universe, and the Joker was really good. Actually, I often think about that movie. It's really good. I even heard I was reading interviews about.
You're talking about the Joaquin Phoenix shit?
Yeah, and it is a good movie. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
It's good, man.
I just it definitely felt like a mix of like half of a superhero movie and half of like Taxi Driver.
Oh, dude, exactly. I was thinking Taxi Driver the whole time. Totally. But also, I was like reading interviews how like just some throwaway, like Joaquin Phoenix is like a nutcase. Like there was just like some throwaway comments in the beginning of the movie. They're like, "Oh, it would be kind of cool if he was like the Joker was super thin," and then he's like, "Okay," and then they were like, "All right, we'll get you a nutritionist." He's like, "No, I'm just gonna like smoke cigarettes and eat an apple a day." So all he ate was like one apple a day and smoked a bunch of cigarettes. That's like what he did for 2 months. It's like fucking insane.
So that sounds.
No, it's you could look it up. That's what he did. He did not like. He's like a nutcase. It was the apple diet.
I don't think you could do that and not fuck your entire body up.
Here you go. I'm going to share this. I was like looking. I was like, he's fucking nuts. Yeah, Joaquin admitted his diet was quite grueling. He would only eat an apple a day. He also ate vegetables like lettuce, asparagus, and steamed green beans. But then he also smoked cigarettes. So it was like he smoked a bunch of cigarettes and ate an apple a day. And then I heard there was a lot of stuff that was improvised. Like there's a part where he like punches a fucking clock and like keeps punching it till it falls off the wall. There's just like a lot of improvised craziness that he kind of added. The whole him laughing on the bus scene was all like kind of improvised. I think he's just sort of a nutcase. He takes things.
Joker reminds me of in a weird way is that Spike Jonze movie, Her. I don't know why.
A little bit. I think he's just. It could be just the way he performs that it kind of like you can start to feel the.
Just the pace.
I don't know, it's almost like a channeling, man. He's you talk about this with like occult shit. He channels the character
and stuff like that. It's a similar.
Oh yeah, definitely it was definitely there was a big King of Comedy vibe. I think that was the start of even making this movie. Like that had to be in pre-production because they were like, all right, let's get Robert De Niro. So that I also kind of
I feel like that was like built in.
That was on purpose
from the inception.
Yep, like the King of Comedy vibe was definitely.
It really is
brought
like
into pre-production.
Multiple Scorsese films all into one. It's the amalgamation kind of hybrid.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a fucking creepy movie.
Bringing Up the Dead by the way, is like not a fun watch. I wanted to check it out for a while, and I finally saw it, and it was pretty horrible. Not
Yeah,
that it's bad; it's just like not something I want to see again.
I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think that's one I've never seen. Not a Scorsese movie? Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage and him. He's a paramedic in New York.
Yeah, that's been on my list for a long time, like to watch, and I've never watched that one.
No, I have
Tom
like
Sizemore's in it, right?
50 things on my IMDb list that I've been trying to watch and never got to.
Yeah, that one's on there for a long time. I have to say, like, I've like had that on there for so long, and I haven't watched it. But the actuals for Blue Beetle are about 18.5 for a 5-day opening. It's the lowest ever for a DC universe movie, and I think this makes complete sense
The
because
lowest ever?
yeah, for these DC movies, yeah, because I mean, like, well, not the lowest, but I mean, I'll show this now. I'll show this chart. It's I would say it's pretty much the lowest because here's look at this chart. So Wonder Woman was worse, but you have to understand that Wonder Woman was released during the peak of COVID and also released on HBO Go. I think I was looking in this when it was released to theaters, there was only 10% capacity for theaters. They could only do 10% of the theater. So you can't really count this number. I would like almost throw this number out. This is the lowest movie of all time. Even Suicide Squad, which came out only 6 months after Wonder Woman, that did better.
Do you
And that
remember
movie's not bad.
the last movie you saw pre-lockdown?
Yeah, I think we talked about it. It was the Lighthouse. Was the Lighthouse in November of 2019.
I'm still surprised that was in that level of theater, you know?
Well, man, that was back when back then they could, release more type movies that were weird and other things. Like you can't release that shit anymore. It just doesn't do well enough. There's no point. Even theaters, like they don't want that. Theaters don't want the lobster. You know what I mean? Like they don't want that because how are they going to make money off that?
What's that
They need Barbie.
folk horror movie with shit.
Yeah, I agree with Nick's book. I like the Suicide Squad, and I definitely liked Peacemaker. So it's like I do think James Gunn is. I mean I think I just like James Gunn. I think James Gunn's really good. I think he makes an entertaining movie that's weird. I think it appeals to me. Like I like violent stuff. I like weird shit. I think he's good with that. I think he always has a good, like especially Peacemaker. It's got this gigantic Invasion of the Body Snatchers vibe that I was just like, all right, I'm all in on this. Like I love this idea. So I do like James Gunn. I don't know if he can.
Is the polka dot guy reused at all?
The polka dot guy is in the Suicide Squad and he dies.
No, I know, but does he get reused in any of his later stuff?
I don't think he will because he kind of dies in that. So no.
Yeah, but that never stopped anybody from creating another universe or metaverse or whatever the fuck and bringing them back.
Well, I know there is so he's doing a lot of stuff with DC, and there is like a Guardians of the Galaxy type group that's in DC that's like all Guardians of the Galaxy is like all the weird characters that were like fringe characters that they just brought into a group. So I think there is that for DC, and I think some of the characters from the Suicide Squad are going to go into that. So he's kind of like doing some of the stuff he did for DC. And I mean, the fact that he made these like that's another example. Like Blue Beetle, it's shit because it's like a character no one knows. But look at Guardians of the Galaxy. Every single one of those characters is no one knows who the fuck they are, and he made that work. That wasn't a Superman. Because that wasn't a Batman.
You focus on
storytelling. Like
no, like
yeah, actors helped. Like you focus on acting performances and that kind of stuff. I definitely agree. and there was well-known actors, it's true, but I think you also focus on, like, the weird. I don't know. Also, I think Guardians of the
Well, you
Galaxy
went
is a
with Kirk
big music
Douglas.
video. You focus on the music, you focus on the vibe. I don't know, it's that whole '70s vibe really created the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think he did that well. There's a lot of montages with popular '70s songs. That's never a bad thing.
Yeah, but isn't that like nostalgia baiting?
Yeah, no, I think but that was during the time where nostalgia baiting was kinda new. He was, like, hitting on that. Now it's kinda feels like it feels a little overused. Now that we've seen, like, 3 seasons of Stranger Things, it all feels a little overused. Or is it, like, I don't even know, is it 4, 5 seasons of Stranger Things? Who knows? Have you seen the new Stranger Things? You probably haven't seen it. Have you seen any Stranger Things?
Who you talk to?
I'm talking to you. Have you ever seen the Stranger Things? Have you seen Stranger Things?
Yeah, I saw all of it.
Alright, so you saw the
Well,
4th season?
when did it stop?
Well, there was a season that came out. Did you see the season with, the Metallica rocker guy?
Yeah, that's the last one, isn't it?
Okay, so you're up to date. Okay, you're up to date. Yeah.
No, that was before a lot of stuff got removed from old um Apple TV devices.
Yeah. Also, I kinda think if you're gonna, like, talk about nostalgia, I think Stranger Things does it well. I think they're one of those like, they know I don't know. Like, I think they pick and choose good things to, like,
Rip off.
homage. Yeah, homage or rip off. They pick the cool things to
I
rip off.
remember the whole homage thing coming out when I saw like 20 side by side stills of references, quote unquote.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. Yeah, and the first season still was great. I think the first season still taps into the weird. They're talking about, like, Montauk Project, and they're talking about MK Ultra. It's been kinda like that whole weird
Yeah,
occult, it's
it's
been
like a
pushed aside a
nicer
little bit.
safer beyond the Black Rainbow or something, without
Yeah, but I
all
think they were
the
still they were
padding.
touching on weirder shit at the first season, and then they kinda, like, went more into the nostalgic, "We're gonna show some
Yeah,
fucking
because
'80s kids and Ghostbuster shit."
I think with the amount of money made, they realized that um, they don't want to isolate the market down to like this sci-fi shit. Like make it more like that whole Hunger Games, fucking was it like teen book.
Oh, yeah, what would they call it? They had a name for it. Was it like, what they used to call it?
I just feel like those markets combine, and then it worked. Like people love the nostalgia of it, but even more, they love how like it transitioned from one era to the next and still worked.
Yeah, they would call it YA fiction, the young adult fiction. That
Yeah,
worked.
like
Hunger Games was that.
the stuff with Shailene Woodley. I forget the it's like a
Oh,
knockoff
yeah, Divergent?
Hunger Games.
Divergent?
Yeah, Divergent or some shit. Yep. And then you
Yeah, I never
had
saw one of those.
Maze Runner. That was
Was she
kind
sucking off,
of
Aaron Rodgers in that, or was that afterwards?
that was much after.
She's in some new movie I saw. I think I saw she's in a trailer for something, and I was like, "Oh, okay. I know her from sucking off Aaron Rodgers." What's her
Yeah,
name?
she got him into all the you know darkness retreats and crystal skull or crystal like
I don't know
astronomy.
about that, man. Aaron Rodgers is from California, man. He's dealt with that probably his whole life. I think he's been in that. I think he just hasn't said it. Yeah, but there's some new movie she's gonna be in that didn't look bad. What is it called? Shit, it's not even on her thing. Oh, I think it's called Dumb Money. Yeah, it looks okay. It's called a movie called Dumb Money. It's about the GameStop GameStop short squeeze. Remember that whole stock thing? And
Yeah, that was around like heavy crypto stuff.
yeah, it doesn't look bad. Paul Dano is the main character. It looks okay. The Virgin, yeah. But the
All
Virgin,
down.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh
don't
yeah, I
know.
wanted to go.
He's a smarmy asshole. I don't like him.
I kind of think he's an okay
I
actor.
mean, he's good. I want to punch his I want to cave his face in.
Well, I feel that more with the co-star of that movie. The co-star of that movie is Pete Davidson, and he's someone who I think everyone wants to cave his face in.
Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, what's the rest of the cast?
I think Nick Offerman's a character. Um, who else was a character? There was a couple characters in it that looked pretty good. Um, Seth Rogen's in it, which no one likes anymore. I think
Yeah, I
everyone
feel like
officially hates him.
oversaturated the market to a point where they got sick of him. You know what I mean? Like him and the director Judd Apatow. Him and Judd Apatow just should have relaxed a little bit, spaced stuff out. You know.
Well, like when people are over your house to wear out their welcome. I think Seth Rogen has worn out his welcome.
Yeah, no, I've been there before.
But look at these numbers here. I want to go through this. Batman vs Superman had a crazy opening. Fucking 106. This is back in the height of making money off movies. $166 million opening. Fucking crazy. It's nuts. Black Adam didn't do that bad. Like, look at these are some of these movies that are down on the list are awful. Like Aquaman, Black Adam, The Flash, which is really
the
fucking
Rock
bad.
has his built-in fan base of a large portion of the floor. You know, like
People's Champ kind of thing.
Is
the People's Champ.
Gonna have a certain market no matter what, just from the get-go, and then you can either build or lose off of it.
I mean, maybe they smelt what The Rock was cooking, I guess.
Mm.
And with that, oh man, Peter Maivia's grandson going on to be one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. He's a likable motherfucker. Got to say that about The Rock. Likable guy.
Yeah, I don't, I mean,
he's hard to hate.
He's in a lot of shit, but it's just
yeah, no, but
working all the time. So you're,
but I feel that way about like a lot of those, like a similar type actor. They're similar. Like it's hard to hate Stallone. It's hard to hate Arnold Schwarzenegger. The Rock is just the next iteration of that. Like, I mean, who doesn't like?
You're leaving out another person from that trio.
Steven Seagal.
I was gonna
John
say
Claude. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Rob Van Dam type guy.
I know that. Yeah, I wish you had like some old VHS tape of the recording of seeing ECW live.
Yeah, man, he had a good entrance. There was always a good thing with Rob Van Dam, but he'd have this he had this like ridiculous ring manager guy who was like basically like a meth head manager. He had like 3 teeth in his mouth and he'd be like blowing on the whistle the whole time.
That doesn't sound like it's made up for his part. Just
it's a weird fucking a very weird group. Here you go. I'm gonna play a clip here. So we're talking about Rob Van Dam. Yeah, this was the guy.
And here come the chick. Whole lot of gold there.
Oh man, the Philadelphia Arena right there. Scumbag Central.
Yeah, well,
Scumbag
what was it
capital of the
like in the
world.
parking lot?
Oh, scary! Like you don't want to be in the parking lot. There's been like multiple stabbings in that parking lot of ECW like stadium. I remember that.
No,
You
I
didn't want to
remember
be there.
one of the venues who went to in Philly. There was this like very weird, narrow line of nothingness behind it, and it was like a very
Yeah, that is
sketchy
Pantera.
known spot for like selling drugs, prostitutes, people getting beating the shit out of each other and raped and murdered. Like you just knew. Also, like South Street had a lot.
Oh
of,
yeah. That was that crew, man. That was that exact crew was at the ECW Arena in the
South
late
Street,
'90s.
Every time I walked up and down that thing, it was not like going for a fun exercise. Like every now and then, you just would hit a dark alley, just hoping nobody could like just immediately pull you in, either beat the shit out of you, or rape and molest you. Like almost every other block.
Oh, dude, Philadelphia's a rough city. A rough fucking city. It is not like a. It's not like a nice. Oh, let's go visit. Like Times Square. Is not. There's nothing.
I remember seeing the same
nice
woman
about
on
Philly.
Broad Street, was where I went to school,
Nah.
and she had a medical cap on and gown, and every day just going through the garbage, looking through stuff to eat. Every single day, I'd pass the same person, like going through their daily routine of trying to find food in the trash. Like,
I like that. I like that meme there. Mixaplex. Maybe that's for RVD because RVD is a big cannabis supporter there.
Wow, Mix, you actually.
He's got our.
You got the.
He's got the special memes and emoji cons that we have. That you had
That's
some
the
girl.
only one. I thought of a couple others, but
what's the other ones? Because I'm not sure.
Well, I wanted Chansey and like some kind of jiggly wiggly tough.
Okay, it looks like that's the only custom one we have, though. Yeah, we abuse.
Yeah. But Snorlax,
he's pretty. Wasn't that part of your speed runs? Wouldn't you like start at? Wouldn't you start at Snorlax? That's where your starting point was, right? That's your starting
speed runs where I optimized the highest floor and levelable speed for him. So even though he's really slow to begin with, I used like vitamins and EV training to maximize the speed he's capable of.
Looks like Hulk Hogan, man. You got to have your vitamins. I guess.
Well, he wants some
Hulk Hogan's vitamins.
He wants some Busey shit.
I got some Busey shit. I might have a few of those.
Fear. F-E-A-R.
F-E-R.
That stands for false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
Romance, do you know what it stands for? It stands for relying on magnificent and necessary compatible energy. Relationship. R-E-L-A-T-I-O-N-S-H-I-P. That stands for really exciting love affair. Turns into nightmare. Sobriety hangs in peril.
Oh, man. So true. I would say the sobriety hangs in peril might be the most accurate thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I mean,
very true. I've been in bad relationships where the only thing you want to do is fucking get drunk once she leaves. You're like, I just want to fucking drink.
Either the person or the situation.
Speaking of which, Amazon, they're canceling a bunch of shows. And the one show they're canceling that's coming into play is a League of Their Own. I hope they cancel Rings of Power. That's like, oh man,
I
that's
think
like a wet
that shit
dream.
was already done. You're
I
telling
think
me
they're gonna give it.
another
They're gonna give it
season?
one. They're gonna give it one more. Oh, they spent so much money on the rights,
Oh
so I
my
think
god! Tell it all.
they're gonna give it one more season, and then they're gonna be like, "This is fucking not
Oh,
because people are gonna hate. It's not gonna be
Didn't you
good."
just hear what I said about the tax break if you cancel Willow?
Yeah, I think that's the same thing that could be happening with Amazon. It's if you
Oh,
can
you know
report
it
a
is.
loss,
You
if you can
know,
report a loss, it's like the producers. It's
I
like that
guarantee you.
the play. Like
I guarantee you that shit is gonna fail, and we're gonna hear about how much money they saved on the quarter of investment they made just to never try and make money off of that shit again.
yeah. Now, I mean, I didn't watch this show, but I did like the A League of Their Own movie. I liked that movie well enough. It's all right. Pretty good.
It's
I like
Tom
Tom
Hanks
Hanks.
and
Madonna.
yeah, Madonna has a part. And
Ghostbusters lady.
And there's some fat kid eating chocolate, and
It's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie.
Yeah, you want to watch it right now?
Oh, honestly, I'd probably if I had to choose between watching that movie and the new show, what would you choose? I think I'd choose that movie. Like any day of the week.
I haven't even seen the new show.
It's by
What if
Abby
it's really
Jacobson.
good? What if it's like Cobra Kai? You know?
I don't think it
They
is.
rebooted it and made it like something completely different from the original. That it's all like fucked up and weird.
No, it sounds like it's they added a bunch of gay people and black people into
instead of Tom
show.
Hanks. It's somebody you really like, and it's actually going to be.
I like
really
Tom Hanks
good.
during that era. During that era, I like Tom Hanks. That was golden age Tom Hanks. That was Joe versus the Volcano Tom Hanks.
What's that?
That's a good movie, man. Is it Joe versus the Volcano? Joe, what is it? Joe and
I know
the
it's so
Volcano?
good you can't remember the title.
I thought it was Joe. Yeah, it's Joe versus the Volcano. I was right. Yeah, that movie's really good. It's like
re-aired or shown in circulation or.
Joe versus the Volcano is about a guy who gets told he's got like a month to live. So he's like, all right, I'm going to fucking go do whatever the fuck I want. And then he goes to Hawaii. And then this tribe is like, we're going to, we have the sacrifice every certain years to throw someone in the volcano. He's like, all right, I'll be that fucking guy because I'm going to die anyway. And then he meets like a girl. And then it's like all that. And then he finds out, I think he's not dying. It was a good movie. It was a good movie. They're not canceling Trop. That's why they're getting axed. It's the League of Their Own to offset a bit of these losses for the rings. Yeah, the Rings of Power. I mean, I don't know. I think the excuse this writers strike is a big excuse to actually axe a lot of things, axe a lot of people. I don't blame them. I think if I was Hollywood, I'd be like, oh, thank God we can clean up a lot of these people out of here. Yeah, I mean the Rings of Power, man, was just so fucking bad. It's it like hurts my soul. It's that bad. It's like
because it's connected to stuff you don't want to see, degraded to that point.
Yeah, and it makes me think of like Red Letter Media. Like I know the guy Mike Stoklasa and Rich Evans, they've talked about how apathetic they are after this like ruining of Star Trek. And like I like Star Trek, but not like I like Lord of the Rings. And once I saw something I really loved like get ruined, it's like, I don't know. It's a whole level of apathy you don't even understand until it happens. It's like there is no good in the world. It's like what Sam was saying. Like everything's all is lost, man. Everything's gone now. And the thing that I think showed me that most was the Rings of Power. I mean, for some people with Star Wars, I like Star Wars enough. I like it, but I think the Lord of the Rings debauchery is a new level for me. Because it's like there was no. I mean, even The Hobbit wasn't like so bad. It was like, okay, this is not that good. I could just forget about this. Whatever. Rings of Power is like a different level of. I can't forget about this. I can't write this one off. And then with with this show, A League of Their Own, they were saying that if you cancel this show, it's like very homophobic because all the gays and blacks or queers in this. I don't know. I don't know
What do you
what you
mean
want
they
to say.
recasted the entire?
Oh yeah, well they made this. I think the main characters like there's a bunch of lesbians in it, and I think there's more black people in it. And so it's typical. It's 2023, probably stuff. You're gonna have more of that. Come on, Gina Davis isn't in this anymore.
Oh man!
But they did bring back. They brought back
I can't
Rosie
wait to
O'Donnell.
watch the abomination that this turns out into.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna watch this.
I'm not.
The only thing
I
that sucks
hopefully
is
can watch it, but
I like Nick Offerman. I like Nick Offerman. He's good. I'm a fan of his.
it's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's
Harmless.
funny. He's great in season 3 of Fargo. Fargo, man, it's fucking. Have you ever seen Fargo? The show Fargo.
I only saw a couple episodes of the first season. What you guys showed me, and then I heard how real, how great it was afterwards. Sort of like The Wire, like has the same.
Well, it gets bad.
kind of
There's
vibe
a
to where
the
people
last season
recommend
wasn't
it.
too good. Oh, dude, the first 3 seasons of Fargo are like recommended reading for anyone. I would say that this is like summer reading list for high school. Go watch Fargo 1 through 3. Great fucking shit. And especially that, I think it's season 2 with Nick Offerman. It's a great season with him. I like him. I mean, he was in The Last of Us. He had a good role where he played a gay guy. It was okay. Last of Us is very okay. I kind of hated dude, Fargo. Don't you know? Check it out. Yeah, really good. It's definitely like if you want to watch a good dramatic series, it's really good. There's a season where Ewan McGregor he's like playing twins. He's like a twin character. He has 2 roles, and I think one of his like love interests is what's her name? Mary Elizabeth Winstead, the girl from Scott Pilgrim, and he's like all about her. And then I think he ends up he left his wife for this girl, and fuck, I don't blame him. Don't blame him on that. Yeah, I liked The Last of Us. I thought the only thing with The Last of Us that I didn't like was there was all this buildup. There was this buildup like, oh, we're gonna have to fucking go across the fucking country. It's gonna be so fucking hard. There's all these zombies. We're gonna have to go. It's gonna be so fucking hard. And then it was like, it wasn't that hard for them to get across the country. They went like all the way across the country, and it wasn't that bad. You could have made that whole first season longer and harder. Like you want to look at Frodo, Lord of the Rings. There's a love interest of mine for Lord of the Rings, but look how hard it is as a conflict for him to get to Mount Doom. Oh, you didn't say any directions for the thumbs. Okay, I agree with that. I kind of think like one thumb up, one thumb down. I liked a lot of it and disliked a lot of it too. There was some stuff I really liked. I mean, I like zombie stuff, and I think I've been used to The Walking Dead, which has been just like a fucking downhill slope. So seeing like a new take on zombies was cool. But I just wanted more zombies. I wanted more conflict. They acted like it was so hard to get there, and I hated all the social justice stuff, and I hate that girl. I hate that girl. The more you've seen Game of Thrones, right, John Lovis?
Yeah.
Like the little
Seen all of
Mormont girl. She's the girl, like the little girl at the end. Probably one of the later seasons where she's one of those. I think she's like
He looks
is she
kind
a
of
wildling?
downsy, and she's a big uggo.
Huge chin to fucking. She's got a chin to rival Bruce Campbell. Chin, if a chin could kill, it'd be that. But yeah, they got all these lesbians in this show, which I'm not surprised at. I'm all cool with lesbians though. I'd rather lesbians. This girl Abby Johnson or whatever her name is. I guess she did. She had some show on Comedy Central that I didn't watch at all. Remember that? I can't even remember. I remember she had a comedy show. Do you remember
No.
this?
Abby Johnson.
Abby Johnson. You ever seen this
Oh,
girl?
no,
Abby
I don't know
Johnson?
what that is. Well,
She had some
this show me
hipster comedy show. She had a hipster comedy show. I remember that. I'm gonna say I'm gonna look it up. What is her show? Abby Johnson. Albert Hoffman's coming up for me here. Jesus Christ. They know my searches there. Albert Hoffman. Abby Jacobson. Okay, I'm all wrong. Abby Jacobson. Do you know Abby Jacobson?
No.
Well, she had a show called
You?
I don't know her. Broad City. Broad City was her show.
That was on Comedy Central with Hannibal Buress.
I don't know, man. I wasn't like a lesbian in the late 2000s. I don't know, so I don't really know the plot of the show.
Fuck you, man. I wasn't either. I just had a fucking cable connection.
You set me up for the joke. I had to go all in.
Yeah.
But-
Well,
But The Peripheral is another show that Amazon's scrapped. You ever heard of The Peripheral? I've never heard of the show ever.
no.
The Peripheral. The Peripheral's gone. No
Okay.
season 2. I guess it had who's this bitch in it? You've seen her before. What's her name?
From that superhero movie.
Well, they're all from a superhero movie now. It's like a
Yeah, the one with
Chloe Grace Moritz. What's her name?
Claire Great Moritz or something.
Is it Super Bad? No, not Super Bad. What's it?
No, not super bad. Super
Kick Ass? Kick Ass?
Kick Ass, yeah, Kick Ass.
Kick Ass.
It's a superhero movie. There's no superhero.
Fucking awesome writer, by the way. You're gonna talk about comics. Mark Millar is awesome. Great fucking writer. Great fucking writer. All his stuff's actually really cool. If you're like on the edge of comics, you want to like check something out, just look up Mark Millar and I don't know, spin a fucking bottle and pick out what his shit is. And all his stuff's pretty good.
Who's Mark Millar?
He's a good comic writer. That's he doesn't really write for any of the big ones. Like, he doesn't write for Marvel or DC. He's kind of like an independent writer, but all his stuff is really good. A lot of his stuff has been
Like what?
I mean, like Kick-Ass is one of his things. And the comic is better than the movie. But Mark Millar is I think about he's got a time travel series that's really good called it's like, what is it called? It's fuck. I'm gonna look this up.
Do you listen to the Sandman stuff with Kat Dennings? Is one of the people voicing it.
No. Oh, you mean like just like the like an
The
audiobook?
audio tapes.
No, I never heard that. Jeez, I'm trying to look up the good Mark Millar. So Mark Millar did do stuff for DC, Marvel, of course. That's what you got to do as a comic person. But all his independent comics are awesome. Ah, man, I want to find best comics. I think it's called the Chrononauts. The Chrononauts was really cool. It was like a mix of Back to the Future with like time travel shit, and I really liked it.
Do people say ICs?
What's ICs?
Independent comics.
I never heard that. I've heard indie comics.
Well, it's the same abbreviation.
Yeah, I guess so. There's a comic called Huck which is kind of like a true version of Superman, but his kind of spin on it. That's pretty popular. Wanted. Remember the movie Wanted? He wrote that.
Yeah, with
Angelina.
yes, Angelina Jolie and that British guy who played the bald guy in X-Men and the newer stuff.
Yeah, he did The Authority for DC. He also did Logan, the old man Logan, which is basically the plot of Logan, which is, again, if I had to pick like one of the better superhero movies, I'd pick Logan up there. I'd put that up there. It's a great movie.
It's supposed to be like a Western, right?
It has it really does have a Western feel. It's actually like, it feels a lot like a 310 to Yuma kind of feel, which I have to say I love that remake, which is also by James Mangold. So maybe that's also why it has that feel. Same director.
I think you've seen that before. That's with Russell Crowe and
I love that movie. Ben Foster. Christian Bale too. It's a fucking good movie, man. It's a really good movie.
Yeah, that's a pretty good neo-Western. A little bit after like the Clint Eastwood stuff kind of died off.
Yeah, I agree with Mexiplex. We need another good Western. I think we need a good Western TV show. You know, like I'd be all.
Westworld.
It was okay, Westworld, but I mean, I know a lot of people say when you hear this good Western TV show, they say Yellowstone. You know, here you go. Same thing, Yellowstone. Yeah, but I don't know. I watched some of Yellowstone. It feels like a soap opera. It feels like,
no, I'm not
you know, ever seen?
I'm not saying
like,
whether it's good or not, but that's what gets recommended over and over and over.
Yes, I agree. But I want something a little bit more like, I don't want like a new age Western. I want like an old age Western. You know, I want something that's a little bit more like back in the day. Yellowstone takes place in modern times. I want, and I mean, yeah, the prequels are good. I saw 1923. It was pretty good. That was actually better than what Yellowstone, as far as I thought. Ty Sheridan is pretty good. He's really appealing to that conservative world, which is smart because no one else is trying to. I know there's a new one. I think it's 1920, with Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. That's another prequel. The prequels are better than the Yellowstone. But I want something a little bit more like, I don't know.
Prequels to Yellowstone.
I mean, I like Deadwood, but it was very like, Deadwood never really went anywhere. I'd want something that was like a Deadwood that actually goes somewhere.
Or what's that Quentin Tarantino movie where everyone's like in that fucking
Hateful Eight?
Yeah, that's one of the like only movies I've ever just legit just
that movie was not good, man.
Fell asleep watching it. Like it
was not good.
I think it was maybe a little too fucked up beforehand, but it really made me want to just like pass out. Which, in a way, it's good because it's almost like a sleep aid, you know, and it's free.
Yeah, I mean, it was also, it's one of those movies that like, it made me realize how, all right, Quentin Tarantino can actually make a bad movie. This is a bad movie.
Anyone's capable of. No one's perfect.
I mean, he's, besides from that, to me, he's pretty perfect. And that, and even that isn't that bad.
There's tons of people who hate movies that are deemed or, you know, considered really, really good, like classics. There's always a contingent of people who think they're shit.
And then even Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I still have issues with. You ever see Once Upon? Would you ever see that movie?
Yeah, I saw it in theaters.
Okay, I mean, I still have issues with it. It's not like the greatest thing in the world.
That's one of the last things before lockdown that was out.
Yeah, I mean, mixed book. I like it a lot. Yeah, I like it a lot too. I mean, I liked some of the Bruce Lee references. I liked I like Brad Pitt's performance. I liked his character. I don't know. I think I just didn't like the whole Charlie Manson thing that was sort of just interjected. And that was my only problem with the whole movie.
Yeah, it felt pretty forced.
The Sharon Tate thing.
That's that's the base of the film scene.
Not really. I feel like the base of the movie is like Leonardo DiCaprio being like a shitty actor and a stunt guy. Like, I think that's the base of the movie. I think it was like kind of like an added part to the movie. You know what I mean?
Well, to me, the base of the movie was the
Like a struggling
connection with
actor.
him and Brad Pitt the entire time, and how it kind of built up and then went away and then came back, and he ended up saving him. So
Either way, man, it's an American movie through and through, and to that I have this clip.
Terrorist, your game is through. 'Cause now you have to answer to America. Fuck yeah. So lick my blood and suck on my bones, America. Fuck yeah. What you gonna do when we come for you now? It's the dream that we all share. It's the hope for tomorrow. Fuck yeah.
That's America right there, man. You got like a smile through one tooth from a prostitute in Tampa Bay or maybe Jacksonville. That's America right there. Tarantino's done that a couple times now, giving happy endings to bad.
yeah, like
True.
Glorious Bastards, where you
yeah.
shoot up the theater and kill Hitler, of course.
I think I like that one better. The other one he did was Inglourious Bastards. We got some Snorlax. Sit here. I totally agree. Though it's
Snorlax. Yeah, that emote I got made by this girl that lives in Spain.
Hispanic woman, huh?
Yeah.
She was like a down on her luck immigrant looking to make some memes.
No.
Like a sweatshop thing.
Art student.
Did you enlist a sweatshop?
In Spain. And I paid, I think, $8 for the emote to be made. And they customized it like just how I wanted. I wanted Snorlax smoking a blunt. And they were like, okay,
Yeah.
I think I can do that. Just show me what a blunt is.
You go to the right I mean, you go to the right you go to the right Catalonian hooker, they'll give you what you want, and that's what we got. You know about Catalonia? You ever been there? You ever heard about Catalonia? The other country in Spain there? It's actually an independent province.
No. Can you
Yeah, it's a weird it's a weird existence. It's in Spain there's another country called Catalonia, which is an old country. Was once its own sovereign nation, and that they have a different language of Spanish, and that's Catalonia. It's part of Spain.
in one area or just mixed throughout all of it?
I believe it's like the southern tip. It's like a different province it's like another province of Spain, but it's essentially its own country, like their own culture, and Catalonia is a whole other part of Spain. They once were their own country. There was like a king and queen of Catalonia. Some history for you. Things you can know.
They were
right?
assassinated, or they just?
I think they just got like fucking integrated by Spain because you can't fight the fucking big government there. Especially, we're talking Spain, man. That's a country that at one point ruled the world. No one England did, but Spain did too. We're talking Columbus times, the 1500s. That's Spain Empire, man. Even, look at like at one point, Florida was owned by Spain. All that like lower part of America was Spain.
Yeah.
At
Fucked up.
Mixplex, man. He's from Canada. That's all French
It
shit,
really
man.
is
That's
fucking
all
sick
fucking.
how stuff gets, colonized. Just
Yeah, and it's crazy, man.
spreading, like
Reading about
you said, like diseases people have never been in contact with, and just watching it like just annihilate groups of people and stuff.
oh yeah, and reading about I was hearing about like these early colonists that came over to America, and they were talking about when they first saw America and they explored it. They were saying like a squirrel could jump from tree to tree all the way from the Mississippi to the East Coast because it was all just fucking woods. Like hearing that is like, oh, that's fucking crazy. That was all just fucking woods the whole way from there. Like, look how much we like paled that
all
over
those
and got rid of
trees
it.
we used to make what we had. Like
Yeah.
the destruction of trees is what we.
Even so, man, if you go near certain parts of America, like up north and the West Coast and Pacific West, you'll realize like, oh, we still have a tons of fucking trees. It's still there.
Yeah, no, I realized that when we were driving to Boston and seeing like mountains of trees and giant gorges and like valleys and stuff that you're driving between. It was like the Grand Canyon.
that was-
one.
Oh, the
A lot
Grand
of
Canyon's
the,
crazy, man.
Surrounding areas could have boulders potentially.
Grand
like,
Canyon's like scary, man. It's like scary.
Yeah,
it's
no,
like
that shit
overwhelmingly
freaks me out.
scary.
Like you could be like behind a fucking 18-wheeler in the middle of like 6 feet of fucking road, and like
Yeah, and I remember like seeing it
like a fucking horror movie.
Yeah, I remember seeing it and thinking like, oh man, this is fucking nuts. Like I didn't want to look at it because it was so weird to realize, like, okay, we're on this fucking planet that here's like a big chunk taken out of the planet. That's like what it looks like. It's like it's just a gigantic chunk right out of here. Just so strange to look at. Kind of scary. I saw Doug throw up too. I think he was drunk the night before, but he threw up. And we left. We weren't there long. I think we looked at the Grand Canyon for like 30 minutes and we're like, all right, we get it.
What was it like driving that long across country? Did you have rest stops and shit, or you just powered through it all?
I mean, the longest we went was like 10 hours, but like most of the days we do like, I don't know, like a 6-hour drive. It wasn't that bad.
Right?
It wasn't that bad at
Like
all.
Boston was 7.
Dude, Boston was 8. That should have been 5. It took us 8 hours to get there because of traffic. We never hit anything like traffic like that.
There were like multiple accidents.
Yeah, but also I think it was just they don't have the infrastructure. Like, like those lanes should have been like that should have been a 6-lane highway, like a parkway, and it was 2 lanes on each side. They don't have the setup for it. I think it was that. I think it was just traffic because they don't have the setup.
No, that's true. Yeah, they were definitely like there was a point. Remember when everyone was trying to just force their way into the merge, trying to cut off the people who had been waiting the whole time? That's when it got like contentious and fucked up. That whole merge.
Well, let's talk about Ahsoka. You love Ahsoka, right? You ever seen Ahsoka? Ever seen her character, Rosario Dawson?
No. Well, I think we did talk about it. I haven't seen the show. It's a show, right?
It just premiered tonight at 9:00, so we're an hour out. So it's been out on Disney Plus for an hour 14 minutes right there. But she's been on Mandalorian and a very flat character, and it's funny because the show, Clone Wars, she's a very bubbly character. I mean, she is a teenager, the character in the show, but it's kind of like a fun character. I don't think Rosario Dawson. I don't know if it's her fault, but she kind of doesn't really give that off. It's a very flat character. They actually moved up the release date because
saying Rosario Dawson's acting sucks, isn't it?
I don't know if it's her, man. I think it's like it could be just the direction or writing that she's given because it's the same thing with Mandalorian. She's just a very boring character.
They had to blame somebody, or the director, or producer, or casting director.
And I mean, I kind of like the Star Wars Clone Wars, so I remember what the character's like. It's like a fun character. She's a likable character. There's been some people who have seen Ahsoka. They've already started to review it. This lady or female or woman, I don't know what you want to call her, Lauren LaMagna. Who knows if
Okay.
that's her real name? She's enjoyed the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. Rosario Dawson is so at home in her adaptation of the character, but Natasha Liu Borzizo, oh god, and her Sabine that steals your heart. I can't wait to see her and Ahsoka's full story. Also, multiple Force-sensitive women. Can I get a hell yeah?
Huh? Mm.
Cue the Steve Austin bit right there. No, I don't think so. I don't know.
What do you mean, like the kicking in glass sound, and then he shows up?
Oh man, Austin 316 right there, right?
That probably should be in our clip rotation. Yeah.
That really should be. Now you say that. That's I totally agree with.
More than
totally agree with that.
Indiana Jones one.
I'm gonna
That
have to
one's a
play a
little
clip.
bit grating and difficult to get through.
Any of you, I didn't need my family members. I didn't need anyone but me. No one, there's not one person in the world that's ever helped me.
Yeah, I mean, you hear that glass kick in, man. You know something's up. What a funny like sound effect to have related to you too. Brilliant fucking people right there. You're kicking the glass, you know
Stone
something's
Cold-
going up.
Stone Cold was around in all the minor league stuff way before he ever got to
Oh yeah, man. He's
WWF.
territory
because I've
guy.
seen his rookie cards, and he's got long blonde hair and looks completely different, and he's dressed like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, he's from the territories, man. He's from the he's a Texas guy. He was in the Texas territories. I heard
Andre
he
the Giant stuff sells really well. You don't have any of that, do you?
No. But I heard Stone Cold story how there's a point where I think he was so poor being a wrestler he had to eat like a potato a day. That's basically like his diet was going off like a potato a day. This is like during like the late 80s. So there was a point where he was not working. And then there you go. You got Stone Cold. You got the next biggest guy. The Rock really went past him though, as far as a popular mainstream character there.
I mean, acting wise, there's no wrestler who can even come close to The Rock.
Dave Bautista, man. Dave Bautista is probably the best actor wrestler I've ever seen. I think he's actually a good actor.
Better than no
Oh,
way.
yeah,
Like you've never seen him carry a movie or a franchise or anything.
Yeah, he's done his bit parts are really good, but
Bit
that
parts, yeah, key part, bit parts.
Army of the Dead movie he was the main character. He was good.
And in something profitable.
All right, well, I'm going to say my best favorite actor wrestler is Roddy Piper in They Live. There you go. Roddy Piper. And I know the Red Letter Media did a new video on one of his old movies. I forget what it's called.
I'd say he's got a better part in Always Sunny than that.
Oh, what is it? The Animal or something? What is it called?
Yeah, can we mix those clips then, or we get in trouble?
I gotta get that clip. I gotta find it first.
I know, but
Roddy Piper.
Can we show it, or are we gonna get shut down?
I could. Let me see if I could find it. Let's just wait a little bit. Let's see if I could find some of that stuff.
I think one of them he's like at a payphone, and the other they're outside at his car, and
the outside the car where he's got like chestnuts and shit that he's like eating off of.
Well, like barbed wire.
The Maniac. The Maniac is his name.
Yeah.
I found a best of the Maniac.
I love They Live though. That really is like.
Oh, it's great, man. Yeah. It's great.
It's something I can watch again and again and not get sick of it. It's just so ridiculous and but still like.
Maniac, excuse me.
Something I can do for you fellas.
Yeah, man. I was saying that was a great challenge.
That was
Great
amazing,
challenge.
dude. That was so awesome, dude. You drank your own
And
blood.
when you were choking the guy.
This time, pull on. Good show.
Oh, you did.
No. Here, let me do you a favor here. You know, you good kids, man. Hang on.
Oh,
Got
what, are you
this
getting an
kid.
autograph? No, we're good, man. That's all right.
We don't need an autograph.
Yeah, we are.
God bless you, man. You have a good time, you know, whale away.
This
Don't
is
take
a
too
parking
much.
ticket.
Bet you have fun with it, okay? All right.
Actually,
Oh man, I've only heard crazy. I mean, Roddy Piper, big cocaine addict. Put that on the list there. Realize that when you see him.
sure. I don't know if this is too forward to ask you this, but we're putting on a wrestling match for the troops coming home from overseas, and we were thinking maybe we could get you to wrestle in it.
How much?
Ooh,
we haven't discussed that.
How much do you usually charge?
$30 weekdays, $50 weekends.
You know, like that right there is all like realistic numbers he's heard too. Like, you know, that's got to be like legit shit he's heard.
Is this when they had the like bird costumes and shit?
Oh yeah. The birds of prey.
It is.
I think they were. I think they were called the birds of prey.
From that or connected.
Ah man, look how young they look compared to now.
And Fight Milk was probably around this time.
A little later, yeah, pretty close.
Okay, Fight Milk came out
That
after
we can
this.
do.
Reasonable.
That we can do. Yeah, absolutely.
Now,
Okay.
Now, all right, give him some money.
Give that to him now.
I still. All right.
no, I don't give a rat's ass about your collection agency, and as for the $15 co-payment, he shouldn't die.
$50.
Shit.
He sounds a little bit like
Sorry, I'm
McNulty.
gonna go get greased up and then we'll come back and rock, huh?
$15? He's upset about $15?
Yeah.
Smashing our phone.
Not a lot of money.
Look,
Oh man, this is one of those people that like, as far as a wrestler, this is one of those people you wish was
Isn't
still
this
around.
Like McNulty?
Oh, I think he's. I know he talked about the wrestler. He didn't like the wrestler movie. But that's a great movie, man. That's definitely
with
Darren
Mickey Rourke?
Aronofsky's best movie.
Yeah,
I think,
love that
I think
shit. It's so just. It's good, but it makes me feel terrible at the same time.
it's a raw movie. It almost feels
Raw
like
fun
how you know, like Always Sunny used to shoot their stuff with like that DV, like camera look in the early, like their first couple seasons. It has that vibe of like a DV,
like
mini
very,
DV documentary.
Uh,
Search mini DV, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Those little tapes that were in camcorders, brilliant stuff. They have a nice vibe to those movies. The look of that film, it's comforting, at least to my era. That's like my 16 millimeter.
looking around, I was thinking, I brought some.
Oh! You just hit.
I just props I was bringing.
That's not a prop though.
All right,
That's
bro.
sharp razor wire.
Mr. Maniac, we were thinking maybe we could go a little bit more traditional with it, you know? Just figure 4 leg locks, pile drivers.
Yeah,
you know,
off
that
the
kind of
top
thing,
rope
body
suplex.
slams.
No, people, that old school bullshit.
Figure 4 with leg lock, man. That's some Ric Flair shit right there.
That don't play no more, you know.
Really?
Yeah, it's gotta be gruesome, you know. Those people that they like blood, you know. And
Yeah,
guys like you know what? I
he's
love
such
you
like
guys,
a
man.
even
You know,
goofier Nick
you
Nolte.
remind me of my kids.
I think he's like playing into that Philadelphia ECW shit right there. 'Cause, yeah, we all love that blood. I agree with him.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up on horror movies and wrestling and all that kind of shit combined.
Oh yeah, but back to Ahsoka, man. I want to talk about this. These reviews, these early fucks who got to see the show. Some people are talking good. This guy said, "I just watched the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. True visual spectacle. Rosario Dawson is a phenomenal as titular character. The fight scenes are epic and heart pounding. The story has a rich history." Okay, sounds like he was paid off for that. Then it's funny, you start to get some realistic reviews later. Here's like a more realistic. It's going to get more realistic as it goes. Here you go. Here's the
Okay.
next one. This is from BD. A straight continuation of Rebels, which, by the way, I'm a fan of Star Wars Rebels. I like the Star Wars Rebels. It's all right. Pretty good. Feeding animation fans for looking for more with these characters.
Yeah.
What's that? This is my
Oh, go ahead.
opinion there on that. I like Star Wars Rebels. It's a Disney XD show. It was pretty good.
I like Rosario Dawson. If she has shit to work with, then what are you gonna do?
I just don't think she's like, I don't know, like right for. I don't know if she's wrong for the role or it just they're not giving her the right things to do. She feels very stoic, and the character wasn't very stoic. It's a very bubbly character. Like I don't know if you want to give it to her, or maybe she just needs. I mean, she can be bubbly. I really get it. It's like I would think she would be good at this role. Next one here actually is a little more realistic. Is from this is from a BuzzFeed writer who's you hear BuzzFeed, they're like fucking like half away from being retarded. So you'd think they'd be a little more pro Disney. She says the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka are incredibly slow and wooden, which is kind of like what I feel like Rosario Dawson's like in the Mandalorian show. Rosario Dawson's very flat in the title role, but Natasha Liu Borzizo is a standout. Okay, the visuals are hit or miss. Some low budget at times. I like the low budget idea. I can't see there being much of a low budget for Disney, but okay.
I guess in relation to something else.
I guess to seeing like $300 million movies, maybe. Jonathan Sim said on X, Twitter. I don't know what they call it, X or Twitter. Is it X now? Is anyone calling? Everyone still calls it Twitter, right?
Going with Twitter, but maybe it should just be Twitter X.
I guess so.
Or X Twitter.
The first 2 episodes of Ahsoka are a mixed bag. Okay, I agree with that. Great potential.
Oh, you saw them already?
They just came out, so actually, I'm gonna probably check out the first 2 episodes tonight. Maybe the first episode. We'll see.
You gotta binge watch.
I've heard it's. I don't know if I can do that, but Dave Filoni, the guy who's making this show, is pretty insufferable. And here's him talking about the show. Well, talking about female characters in Star Wars, and it is quite insufferable. Check this out.
This is what we tried to do with the Star Wars saga. Now we've tried to create more female characters who can represent so many things, because what we're trying to do isn't just create one type of character. We're trying to create a diverse range of characters, especially female characters that are strong, that are independent. When you look at Rey, on The Force Awakens, she's a female lead in a whole new chapter of the Star Wars saga. We haven't done a movie for 10 years, and here comes a Star Wars film, and here comes Rey. And what is it? Is it Panic in the Streets? Oh my gosh, a female lead in a Star Wars movie. And then the trailer for Rogue One.
I was panicking in the streets. I was in the streets panicking like the Smiths song.
I don't remember.
Another female lead.
I don't remember what it was like when that movie came out at all.
It was like the Morrissey song. Morrissey had it dead on. There's Panic in the Streets of London.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. How unfair. We've had probably like 2 million straight film cinematic roles where men have been leads, and now we've done 2 in a row that are women. Well, too bad. Oh well. Maybe there are more coming. I don't know. This is this idea that like, and I.
It's just weird to me. Like, is this guy like? Why do you have this in you? I don't know. Like, I mean, is he gay? Is he like? Why do you feel like you need to have these female characters in focus? Like, I don't get it.
It feels like a non-committal combination of a bunch of shit that's all
Like,
mixed together.
It's just weird to me. I don't know. I agree with what Mexico's saying. Is it a goof? Is it a goof? Is he a goof? Are we watching the 10? Ever seen the 10? By David Wayne?
Yeah, saw that in Princeton.
Yeah, dude, it's funny how Princeton movies, they used to actually show, they wouldn't show like they wouldn't show a lot of like less indie stuff. It was mostly indie stuff. So that's where we got to see Wes Anderson. Like I've never seen a Wes Anderson movie outside of that. Like him or hate him, he still is kind of an indie guy.
Hey, sounds like there's a cougar in here. How are we doing today?
Thank God you're here, Dr. Ritchie. She's been in horrible pain like this since the operation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sure she has been. Here. Take a look. See this? This is Sheila 1 hour post-op, and it's my educated guess that the sharp cutting blades of the Grover Shepherd medical scissors is what's causing most of the pain.
You left a pair of scissors inside of my wife?
Yes, that's correct.
How can you make a mistake like that?
Oh, no, it wasn't a mistake. I did it as a goof.
You goof?
No, relax. As a goof. I did it as a goof.
I don't get it.
Well, clearly, you just don't know me. I goof a lot. My friends know that at least half the time I am goofing. The thing is, you need to understand my sense of humor. I think that's it. Nancy, you were here when I was operating on this woman. I dropped the scissors in her belly. Why did I do that?
If I remember correctly, you did it as a goof.
Did it as a goof. That's Star Wars in general for you right there. That's Dave Filoni. Did it as a goof. Yeah.
What is that from Children's Hospital?
That's from the 10. There's a movie called The 10.
Oh.
It was a pre-Children's Hospital, but I think that scene might have been an impetus for Children's Hospital. That could have started it all.
Definitely feels like a precursor.
Dave Filoni is definitely a goof. He started off as the Star Wars darling. He was like a darling to all the little Star Wars fans who they loved Clone Wars and they loved what Dave Filoni could do. And then they gave Dave Filoni more reins and more control, and they realized, okay, this guy fucking sucks. He was the indie darling at one point. Now he's the enemy.
And I run into this sometimes when working with writers. It's like, well, we just made one of those. Made one of what? We just made a female lead. We can make another one. Really? Yes, we can. There's more than one woman in the world. There's more than one woman here in the world. Why is that so strange? If we made like 5 men heroes in a row, no one would blink. You know, Rey, she impresses Han Solo. He's like the guy's guy, impresses him, impresses everybody in the audience. She goes up with Kylo Ren. She punks him right away. Like he's supposed to be this great guy, wiped out all these people. I don't know. She took that lightsaber and was like, I'm going to take you out. And she did. And I'm all.
Yeah, we get it. She was really overpowered. We understand. We saw it too.
All for it. And she looks strong. It's not that she doesn't show any fear. She looks like this is an intense moment in her life. And we're there with her because of that. Because she's a.
Does she? She kind of looks pretty fine. I didn't see that in her performance. I don't know what he's talking about.
Real feeling dimensional person. That's what we want. A real feeling dimensional person. We are trying to create an environment where it's my hope. The kind of just like Luke, all he did was open that door, right?
That's all he did, man. He just opened that door.
Or let Leia out, and she's went gangbusters. So
yeah, just so Princess Leia could be gangbusters. That was the whole point. Princess Leia. Okay. Jesus Christ, this guy's fucking
just want to be a
retarded.
part at Lucasfilm of opening this door to a new generation of filmmakers, of women that come into Lucasfilm and can be creative.
Oh yeah, so Luke was just about opening up the doors for female characters. Is that what he's saying? It's fucking crazy.
Future for Star Wars, our force for women characters.
And why does he have a cowboy hat on? Why is there a cowboy hat? You're doing an interview here. Do you need a cowboy hat? Yeah, and he really is saying, this is like my problem with a lot of people like this. He's basically saying, fuck what the audience thinks. He's trying to force feed you what he wants. It's so true. It's like, you know, this is like, there's an interview with Henry Cavill talking about, they're asking him like, don't you think these fans are toxic? He's like, no, fans aren't toxic. They're passionate. They like what they like. And that's a good thing. You know, like, don't treat it like it's a bad thing. And this is exactly the opposite. He's basically just going about what people don't like and forcing it in there. And we don't need any of that, man. We don't need any of that. Oh yeah, I got to take a look. Oh, let me take a look at your sheet here. But yeah, Ahsoka, man, I got to check it out. I wanted to get to my last thing here. This is always I like to do a list at the end here. I've been kind of tinkering with that more, but the scariest 80s kids films. This is stuff I love. I mean, I wasn't a kid in the I was a kid in the early 90s, so
What do you mean, like kid, like for kids, or like kids are in them?
for kids. But like when we were kids in the early 90s, like I didn't know, like when I got all these movies in VHS, I didn't know what era they're from. Like you didn't know what year they were made. You know what I mean? Like you didn't really know. Like I mean, I'll go through this movie because a lot of them come up in my childhood. So like the first one here is the Never-Ending Story. Did you? I mean, to me that's
Yeah, with
1982, but I thought it
the
was a new movie to me.
the horse drowns in the muck of the
Yeah, Treyu.
no, the
The
horse
horse
dies.
R tracks. Yeah, R tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
It's
part's
good,
sad.
though.
And if you
I think it's like meant to teach kids how to deal with death of pets and stuff.
Yeah, and even in the book, I know like the horse can talk in the book, by the way. And I remember like because I've read this book, the horse is kind of saying like don't worry about me. Like it's kind of saying the whole time like this is how it's supposed to go. Like you need to go like it's like it's a very
Yeah, a lot of it's about
philosophical
destiny
chapter.
and like things are pre-written for you to happen, and then just how you're dealing with what you know is the inevitable uh, pre-written thing in the book, in a way.
Oh yeah, Mixed Books is saying he had a big ass stack of Fangoria magazines in his room. Fangoria was the shit. I still subscribe to it. I think they only come out once or I think they come out like 3 times a year now. It's not
Do
it's
they
not like it used
sell
to.
if you like get them graded and shit, like old ones?
Yeah, they do. It's I mean, I'm sure in the future it'll be even more, but they do. I would if you Mixed Books, you can find those things. I would slab those motherfuckers or put them
Yeah,
in
slab it.
like a comic book, put them in some plastic.
We have a
In the
Zap
future,
comic that
you're gonna
has
make things.
like a weird misprint on it. That's kind of rare. Comic
Number
comic.
6 here is Legend. You ever see Legend? I love this movie too. Like these movies are great.
Yeah, shit's fucking. That's Tom Cruise and Tangerine Dream does the music, and
Tim Curry is the devil. Yep.
yeah,
It's a great movie, man.
there's a
One better
sequence
Tim
with like
Tom
this
Cruise.
witch that lives in a swamp. That's really fucking awesome.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Yeah, I always kinda had this, like, this is a movie that, like, portrayed witches in a way that I always thought was accurate, and then here's the movie The Witch. Kinda like the Witch movie, really adds up to that, like, the portrayal of the witch in that ancient times. So, yeah, I agree. This is, like it plays on that philosophy of the ancient
You mean the
witch.
Robert Eggers one?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Where you see, like, the witch in, like, like, a weird little house in the woods, kinda like I think Sleepy Hollow kinda does it similar, where she's just in this kinda, like, brush shelter. But, Mixed
Do you
Books
think
is
there's a
saying
connection
late
between Robert Ebert and Robert Eggers, like name wise, like that's intentional?
it could be, man. I'm sure Robert Eggers loves Legend.
No, I was just like looking at the name there and then saying out loud. It's like I feel like it's reused or like repurposed for some reason.
It could be.
Labyrinth.
I mean,
Yeah, this
number
movie's weird. This has like
Labyrinth.
definitely has some creepy like pedo vibes.
Yeah, I mean, especially, Jennifer Connelly looking fucking hot, but I think she's only, like, 16 here. But
Yeah,
fuck, I mean, I was
this is
fucking
some early.
when I saw this, I was fucking in my, like, 5, so I think I was fine to say she was hot.
No, that's early stuff. Yeah,
And then you got, like, Jim
Rocketeer.
Henson doing all the puppets and all that shit. It was awesome. I love this movie. I mean, you know what? I really like this movie. I don't love it. It was like not one of my. It was not one of my favorites. I
Jim
saw it as a
Henson's
kid. It
so
wasn't my one
good.
of favorites. Last Unicorn. I liked it. It was an animated movie. It was all right.
I don't know that one.
I know Alan Arkin. Alan Arkin's one of the voices. Christopher Lee has a voice. It's pretty good. It's an animated movie. I like it. Move on. The Secret of the Nymph. I love this fucking movie. This is fucking great. Talk about one of the better animation movies of all time. This comes up in my mind. Recently by a guy who left Disney. I forget the guy's name. He left Disney and went on to do he did Watership Down. I don't think Watership Down is on this movie, but on this list, but it should be. Watership Down is by the same animator.
I
But
would
Watership
expect it to
Down
be
is
number
fucking
one.
sad, man. When I saw that, I saw it as a kid and it was fucking
I
depressing.
would think Bambi and Watership Down would be 1 and 2.
Watership Down's like way more serious than Bambi. Bambi is like
Yeah,
one
they're both-
scene where
they're
it's
both,
sad.
like,
Watership Down's the
almost
whole
like
movie where it's
Dexter
sad.
and-
And then that same writer director has another movie he did called Plague Dogs, which is also really sad. You ever seen Plague Dogs?
No, maybe.
Plague
I don't know.
Dogs is about like these two dogs that escape like a laboratory, and they have some sort of plague, like a bacteria or virus.
Plague Dogs? When did that come out?
Yeah, so like everyone's searching for these dogs to kill them because they have the plague. So it's about these two dogs that have the plague, and so they're just it's kind of like Watership Down, where they're just like fighting to stay alive the whole time. That's basically the
It's
movie.
horrible. Yeah.
Horrible. Horrible. I wouldn't want to ever watch it again. Number 2, The Dark Crystal. I used to watch this on Betamax. My aunt had Betamax, and she had
this shit is fucked
she had
up.
this movie, and
They
I love this
like
movie.
they suck the energy out of these like little innocent people. that
Yeah.
are all like cute looking. And they get murdered.
Yeah, mixed with, and when they bark the plague at you. Yeah, it was like sad. Like every time they bark, the plague is spread. It's almost like a virus. It's like they're coughing. It's a fucked up
Yeah,
thing
that
because
is
you're
like
rooting
a
for them.
weird sick.
Oh,
fucking
it's a
movie.
fucked up thing, man. You want because you don't want dogs to be killed, but everyone's trying to like hunt down these dogs and kill them, and they're trying to stay alive. It's like the rabbits in Watership Down. It's very similar. Dark Crystal, man. Oh God, I love this movie. It's if I think of like an early movie that I love as a kid, this is like the first one that comes to mind. And it's a creepy movie. It enthralled me as a fantasy and also creeped me out at the same time. And seeing it on Betamax was really cool because I think Betamax was a better quality than VHS, so it always kind of felt like high def at the time. I remember that, like it was more like high quality. So this to me was always like one of those like IMAX type movies that like you want to see it in like good quality. And I would love if they released this movie to see it in like a big screen, like on IMAX or something like that. I loved it. The Sketskis always creep me out, and then like those like monk, like the monk fucking race that's like doing like hymns and shit. Fucking awesome. And the new show was good. Netflix had a show called The Dark Crystal: Rise of the Renaissance.
It
was really good, and yeah, it was really good. Oh yeah, the dog thing. He's still talking about he's talking about plague dogs. But I love the
What
Dark
is that?
Crystal.
Do you have
Man.
a trailer or some shit?
Let me see if I can find a trailer. Not a fun watch, I'll say that. It's like
No, it sounds horrible. I mean,
well, he's talking about the Dark Crystal. He's talking about those the monk, the race. Yeah. They kind of look like monks. They kind of look like dogs. They have like long noses. I know exactly what you're saying. They kind of look like Muppets mixed with a dog. Oh, you're talking about the pet. Yeah, it was a girl's pet. I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. But let me find the plague dogs. Yeah, this is not a fun watch. It's like there's a movie where they drop the bong on Hiroshima. That's also an animated movie that it's also not a fun watch. This kind of falls into that same platform. So but we'll watch the trailer here. That's better than watching the whole movie. Viewer be warned.
once was blind, but now I see the answer lies within your heart. Memories are only about the past. The present time will never last. The future lies within your heart. Yes, I know I'm going home. Yes, I know I'm going home. When I reach the end, you know I'll find a friend. Yes, I know I'm going home.
It just sucks because it's that's one of those things that tears your heartstrings. Like, and none of these animals want to have this happen to them. That was what was good about the what is it, the Guardians of the Galaxy 3, where they had these like.
Did you come across this movie because of that?
No, I came across this movie because of watching Watership Down and wondering like what else this guy did, and then I saw like, oh, he did this other fucked up movie. Oh man, but also even this here we go. We'll show a clip from Guardians of the Galaxy 3. This is a similar kind of vibe. I almost think of Plague Dogs when I think of Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
When Sire moves us to the new world, we're gonna need names. I mean, 89Q12, it's not really a name. So, I would like my name to be Lila.
Lila.
Lila. That's a pretty name, Lila.
These are all these animals that are getting experimented on. That's the background of this. So they're kind of in their cages, but they're amongst each other. They're like been giving these smart technologies so they can talk to each other.
Thank you.
I think my name shall be Thieves. Because although we all do have them, mine are definitely the most prominent.
Thieves.
Thieves.
Lila.
Thieves.
Me be called Floor because me is lying on floor.
You're lying on a floor, so your name is Floor?
Yes.
Floor.
What about you, friend?
Someday, I'm gonna make great machines that fly. And me and my friends are gonna go flying together into the forever and beautiful sky. Lila and Teefs and Floor and me. Rocket.
Rocket.
It really is good to have friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely plays into that Watership Down Plague Dogs vibe
Yeah, it's
there.
pretty sad. Ugh, man.
Yeah, especially I mean, spoiler there, all those characters get killed. So
No.
spoiler on that, but they all get brutal deaths. Like a Watership Down type thing.
Do you think kids
Yeah,
are
back to
going to see that?
I don't know. It was a movie that I couldn't see being made that gratefully for kids because of that. There's a lot of creepy shit. Like even those animals, they look creepy. They're being experimented on, but they look creepy. Number
Right,
one here. This is
more like dealing with what goes on in the movie.
yeah. I mean, it sucks because that movie didn't do too well, but it was pretty good. Number one here, Return to Oz. You ever seen Return to the Oz? This
Bits
is a
and
creepy
pieces.
fucking movie.
Not all the way through, but I've definitely seen like different segments and stuff. That and like the other never ending stories, like the later ones get weird too. I feel like this
Yeah, no,
list
it's
should have been
basically like
longer and it left a
Yeah, I
lot of
agree.
stuff out that I wanted to put on it. I don't know. This feels like something we should do, like when that other list where should just like
Or like
build
maybe
up
not like
and
well, the thing is this, it's
expound
like
upon
not Scariest.
what they
This is
probably lacked
80s
on.
kids movie. Like this is 80s kids movie. I think you could just do Scariest kids movie and make this longer.
I would put Pet Cemetery up there, top 5. That movie fucked me up.
Yeah,
And
the use of
second one,
puppetry
too,
gave
with Eddie Furlong. Both of them fucked
And
me
this
up.
is so true. The use of puppetry gave all these movies a creepy vibe. It's really true. I think the whole, like something that's actually real and not CG is more creepy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain it, but
What
your
was, like, the
mind
first
knows when you're.
movie that really fucked you up though? Like for me, it definitely was Pet Sematary, the first one.
First one. I mean, I would say maybe like I don't know. I'd probably say Dark Crystal. Just looking at these creepy things. Maybe E.T.
Really? That's like
E.T.
a funny.
E.T. was
friendly
always
movie.
creepy. Yeah, but he's kind of creepy. His fingers were scary. Pet Sematary is definitely like I'm still like that is still kind of scary. That's one of those movies that I think is still, and even just that concept is still just scary, just because I don't know, it just kind of always hits, or it's like it's something that is weird and not right to like bring something back to the dead. So it was back from the dead. It's a good story there. Something's wrong. Even like
The
Game
original
of
that was
Thrones
fucked up,
hits
like,
on
it's
that.
not even the main plot. It's like the sister stuff that always creeped the shit out of me. It's really fucking weird.
Yeah. Like I said, Game of Thrones kind of hits on that. They bring back from the dead the mountain, and he's like not the same. Like it's kind of a similar vibe. Or I like that vibe. I like that idea.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know what the like play is, but it's like somebody's son like gets murdered at a factory, and then they bring him back to life, and he's like knocking on the door to get back in the house, but they don't want to let him in because they know he's a zombie.
That sounds familiar. What is that? What is that from? I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't know. Maybe it's like Edgar Allan Poe type shit, possibly. I don't remember fully.
Oh yeah, I've heard that story exactly what you're talking about, but I can't really place it. Yeah. But yeah, there's some creepy movies from the 80s. I just want to bring that up. That was one of my lists there. But we're on Twitter at wizard_shack. We're about to head out. Thanks for coming by, Mixaplex. I'll see you guys.